All right. Sorry about that last video. It died out. But yeah, news story after news story after news story showing the City Council of Lorraine violating their own rules, not knowing their own rules, speaking out of turn, speaking poorly to each other, censoring citizens as they try to speak, and now voting illegally. So the City Council voted illegally on the pool thing with carry-on after the citizens told them not to, censored a citizen, couldn't figure out how to do motions, couldn't figure out the proper way to make a motion, she was trying to vote to name the pool right then and there, and they didn't even have a quorum. And again, if you don't have a quorum, if you don't have enough members to vote, then you can't have a committee meeting either. So I don't really understand what went on there. If Baez was part of the voting membership and you needed a quorum of people that could vote, then you couldn't even hold that meeting legally. You were filling in spots with members of your group that were not legally on the committee. And so when you have people trying to vote, that's illegal. And that's why you had to run it by the law director. That's why you wasted our time and our money. So again, I would really appreciate it if you guys would stop and just read your own rules, all of them. Understand what the First Amendment is. Understand that, requiring citizens to make their name and their address public is not something that's going to work out well for you. Understand your own rules. Read the rules of, the Black's rules for meetings. Read all of that. Understand how to make a motion. If you're going to take the time to run for city council and you're going to get on our boards, then know the rules. Yes, you're citizen government, but you're doing a horrible job at it if you don't know your own rules. You don't know how to make a motion. You don't know the appropriate way to censor someone. You had already said I was out of order. Me walking back to my seat and speaking is not out of order, even if under my breath. That's not out of order because I have the right to public speech. Out of order would be if I stood up there and kept talking over you on the mic. You can try to censor that even though you shouldn't. So once again, I'm going to finish that last video because I lost connection, but you guys got to stop. Like, Joel, you're stupid and you're old. You're like 70-something years old, and you just voted on something that was illegal. So you broke the law, in my opinion, when you voted on that. And you guys can't do that. You guys need to make sure you're following your quorum rules. You guys need to make sure that you're sticking to the guidelines, and you need to make sure you're not illegally censoring citizens against the Constitution of the United States of America. You need to stop serving your own self-interests. You need to stop voting for city employees to be named after things, and doing it illegally. No one cares about your 500 hours, 500 years before, where you're talking about what we did or didn't used to do. I'm telling you right now that we don't want that pool named after him. We want it to stay the same, and we want you guys to just get back on the ball and do the right thing. So why don't you spend the next week reading your rules and your regulations and your laws, all of them. And if you put them online, I'll read them. I'll come and hold you accountable to them. You guys are talking about wanting a master at arms. Why don't you make it me? I'll read everything, and I'll correct you and let you know when you're wrong. And let you know when you're right, because you are right sometimes too, believe it or not. But, if you're going to do this job, you need to do the work and study. You can't just run for an elected office, get your $12,000 stipend, Baez, and then not show up. You've missed too much already, bro. Like, show up. If you can't show up, step down and let someone who can show up fill your spot. I will, because I'll show up, and I'll do the job, and I'll do it right, and you can keep the salary. I'll just show up. That being said, stop voting on stuff when you don't have the legal right to vote on it. Stop kicking people out of meetings when you don't have the legal right to do so. Thornsberry, suck it. I have nothing nice to say about you. You've managed to make me dislike someone. I don't even know how that's possible. And so, at least I can respect where McCann came from. He's just a jerk. And he acts like a jerk to people, and he emails people like a jerk. You, on the other hand, you're nothing but a disgruntled public servant who really wants a power position that you don't have. And so when you get a little committee position like that, you feel that urge to just rule over someone. So you want to just, Ugh! And I don't like that kind of person. I like people that are willing to have open dialogue, that are willing to speak to you with respect and open and honesty. You're not that guy. You probably need to get into some therapy to deal with some of those anger issues that you're dealing with and the way that you speak to people. The fact that you block citizens on your page, the fact that you don't follow any of the, First Amendment or open meeting rules or, I guess what should I expect from a guy that can't follow meeting rules or the Open Records Act on his own page and First Amendment on his own page and block citizens would do the same thing in this scenario. So just so you know, I'll be reporting you to the Ohio Ethics Committee as well as to the AG for violating the Meeting Act's laws and filing a complaint against you for that as well. I strongly suggest you just issue an apology. But in the meantime, guys, stop voting on stuff that's illegal. You're stupid.